So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at Ardennes 2 from Multiman Publishing. Ardennes 2 is their latest release in the Standard Combat Series, or SCS. This particular game was designed by Dean Essig, as is the rest of the series. He's like the overall designer and developer for a lot of these. But my understanding, I think, is that this was kind of a redo of one of, if not the very first. I think it was Ardennes and Africa were the two first ones in the series back in like 1995 or whatever, I think. We got a nice kind of redo, new artwork, new counters, and then this also comes with the latest edition of the series rules and just kind of a tightening up. Also, it's another Bulge game, right? So like... you know it's going to do well for him. I do appreciate that the artwork on the front. I like a good, nice box art, and this is it. Anytime we can get proper illustrations or paintings, there's something about that that's very evocative to me that I appreciate. But it's a nice little small box. It's number 25. Yeah, I think the original Ardennes one was a very long time ago. I don't know if they say on the back. Nah, I'm not going to read that. But the complexity here is listed as medium. Sure, maybe there's some chrome in this one that warrants that. But honestly, the SCS series could very easily be your first ever Hex Encounter war game. I might be inclined to put the complexity at low, sight unseen, because this is such an easy series and an easy system to get into. I mean, you could solo it, pretty much no big deal. I don't know if there's any hidden units on these, but you just do both sides and it's no big deal. So let's take a look at what we get in this one, because even though it's a little kind of small 1.5-inch box, there is a lot in here, all things considered. So we start with the red and white dice that you all come to know and love from MMP, and a little piece of paper saying, hey, this is what should be in here. Now, the one thing that I will say is do not judge this video. There is the box and the lid, 2 map sheets, 2 counter sheets, 1 rule book, 2 six-sided die. Okay. So I bought this at WBC. I had it on pre-order, and they had a few there, and they said, hey, if you get it here, we can cancel the pre-order, and you can just pick it up right now. And I was so excited to do that. I'm like, absolutely, we're going to do it. But they very quickly, after WBC, discovered that there was a play aid missing from this game, just in those copies. And they halted. They hadn't sent any out, so when you get it, they will have halted sending them out, put all the play aids in, and you'll have everything that you need. I'm one of like the however many people got this at WBC. It's not very many, but there is a play aid card you will not see in this video, but that they are sending separately to me. So big up to them for finding that mistake and also fixing it before they sent it out to anyone else. So just don't get up in their grill about it there, because they're being very responsible about it, which I appreciate. So all I have to say is there is one extra play aid which is not in here. But also, I don't know if we can play the game without it. So I have to wait till we get that to give it a go. So, Standard Combat Series Ardennes 2. This is the rule book for this particular game. Let's see. Let's get the series rules out just so we can compare those, okay? So the series rules were on version 1.8. And all of the games in this series, generally speaking, are backwards compatible. So if you buy this, you can use this series rules in all the old ones. So that's wonderful. You don't got to go back and learn like the 1.2 rules or anything like that. Just, you can stick with this. It comes in full color these days. These are very common diagrams. And then they're all black and white. And this is on nice semi-gloss paper, which I appreciate. But these are the rules, man. Like, the rules are literally 8 pages. I mean, this isn't even a page of rules. So this is what I talk about when I love this system, because I can hand this to someone, and the reality is even with 8 pages of rules, this is a page of diagrams, so you're down to 6 pages of rules, maybe another page of diagrams, so you're down to 5 pages of actual rules for a Hex Encounter war game. And this one's a 2-mapper, so you're getting a lot of meat in it as well, a lot of size. But, you know, it's move, attack, some stacking limitations, how to take step losses, terrain effects, supply, advance after combat. Really, really kind of normal, standard fare for war games, but it's such a clean and easy system. So, the actual game-specific rules, this is a much bigger book, but this because it contains all the scenarios in it. And this is a big game, so there's lots of scenarios. So this is 20 pages. We have a little terrain effects chart on the back as well. German reinforcements, this is a massive gazetteer of all of those. Designer notes. So really, we're down to like 14 pages of rules, but this is all set up. All of this is the scenarios, and there's a little glossary here. That's for the campaign. So, you're looking at, of actual game-specific rules, 7 pages at best. And again, you know all the core mechanics. All of this stuff is like the game's chrome for this situation. So you'll have different airstrikes, blown bridges, traffic jams, all the stuff you would expect in a Bulge game. That's all listed in here. DG in units, which is disorganized and it's not great. Different barrages that you can unleash on people. How to actually score victory in this particular one as well. Artillery supply, blown bridges like we talked about. So you've got your, at best, of actual rules, 5 pages of series rules. And then you've got your Chrome, which is a few pages as well. So all that to say, if you've never played a Hex Encounter war game before, this is a great place to start. This one's 2 maps, it might be quite long, so just know that that's what you're getting yourself into. But this series, you could pick any old game in this series that interests you, and you're going to have a good time. I think that's a fair statement for me to make. I really like the system. I don't know if you can tell that. So everything else that's in this game, once again, there's a plague card missing, is 2 maps and 2 counter sheets. So the counter sheets are all military units, basically. These are the Allied ones. A lot of green, a lot of Americans. But we do have, we do have the British Armoured Forces, the little relieving force at the end. But a lot of American troops, and I think the Yellow Band good is what I remember. I think they have a bonus. They can either move and attack, or those are like more elite troops. Really, really nice. Or those mechanized ones that could be. I think they have better movement values in certain conditions. And a lot of infantry as well. And a couple blown bridge markers, turn markers, all the usual stuff. And then we have here all of the Germans. So we've got these black SS units, I would presume. Blue ones are Fallschirmjäger, and then everything else is regular German Wehrmacht, or I would imagine. DGs for disorganized. Don't let yourselves become disorganized, but it's going to happen from artillery strikes typically. And then some barrage markers of each different color as well. Half barrages. But that's the counters. Now that might look like a lot of counters, and it kind of is, but we'll be able to organize those based on their turn of entry, which should make it a bit easier, hopefully. And let's take a look at the maps. So let's look at map A. Let's see how this stacks up. All right. And these are oriented vertically, so you're going to have one here and the other one here, I believe. Let's open that up as well. So, I believe it goes like this. So, it doesn't even fit on the camera, but 2 maps is, at least for my table, 2 maps is pretty much as big as I can go from a space standpoint, but this fits on the table, and what you can't see is I've got about a foot of space over this side of the table and probably about 3 or 4 inches on this side of the table, so I can stick all my play aids over here, have all the counters out, and that fits snugly but nicely on my table. And once again, I have a very normal, I think I have a 3x5 table. It's very standard, or 3.5x5. Very standard sized table. So, yeah, it comes in a small box, but this is a large game with, you know, a couple counter sheets of pieces. But once again, the rules themselves are not particularly complicated, and as such, you're immediately playing the game and not nosing around in the rules trying to figure it all out. So you can see on this side over here, presumably we're going to have set up for all of the Germans, and they're going to be pushing out this way, and it's for the Allies to try and defend, and hopefully not have to get saved by the British in the end. But yeah, very clear artwork on the maps. The more I play SCS, the more I like the system. So I'm very excited to play this. When they announced it, it was kind of a no-brainer. I'd looked at getting the old Ardennes, but it was really hard to get a hold of, and it was kind of, you know, it's from the 90s, and I've got Africa from like 93, and that's shows its age in its components. And so nice fresh components, nice fresh maps, nice fresh rule book. You could do a lot worse than this, that's for sure. I'm extremely excited to play this, and at some point we will get this done before the end of the year and let you know how it is, but I have to wait to get the play aid card in, because the play aid card has the CRT on it, so I can't play this without it, unfortunately. Or maybe they post it on their website as well, and I can just print it out and get going, but I'm not in any particular rush as well. But like I said, this is Ardennes 2 from MMP. Please go and check this out. If you're looking for an easy World War II combat system and hex encounter, it's so easy for me to recommend SCS, because there's also such variety out there as well in it. There's like the Red Box series that MMP do as well, which is nice and easy, but it's like all East Front stuff basically. But there's everything that's covered by this system all over World War II. It's really, really great. So, yes, Ardennes 2 from MMP with some of the best artwork of the year. I mean, I don't know if that's the same artwork as the original one, but I really, really like it. Check it out if you're interested, but appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.